right, Stacy, and I know we talked about this before, and you've been on the show talking about how important to have a will and a trust. So we're going to just touch on that today. And I wanted to have you back on the show because I am literally like going through a situation right now where I have a house under contract. Well, I thought I had a house under contract. I'm trying to buy it to flip it. Mom and dad passed away, left the house to the children. There's 6 children. Of the six children, 2 of the children are deceased, and of those 2, there's children. So there's a title search, and come to find out there have to be 13 people that all have to sign the contract. Wow. 13, and that is because mom did not have a will. Well, let me take that back. She had a will. It just, the will wasn't recorded and it wasn't witnessed. So we're going to talk about the importance of not only having a will, but having the will recorded and having it witnessed and just doing it the right way.
I guess the biggest reason to have it is to cut down on confusion with the family, yes, so that everybody understands this is what you wanted to have happen to the house and things are in order. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. And then the will itself may not be enough if you have a lot of other assets like a home and other property. So it may be best to put things in a trust opposed to a will. So
we're going to talk about the difference between a will and a trust a little bit later, okay? So when someone passes away and they have children and then and they don't have a will, and again, like in this situation, their children has children, and then it could trickle down. Like their children can have children if one of them passed away, and so what people don't understand is that everybody has to sign, or you can put the house in a trust and then make someone like the trustee. So talk to us about that.
So what that means, I guess depending on the family dynamic, so with my grandmother passed, she had a family home, and she made it clear that she wanted my cousin to have the house. So everybody knew that. So when it came down to it, the family was like, this is what grandma wanted. So there was no, even though there were a lot of children, a lot of grandchildren, it was clear what
you guys wanted. Agreed on it verbally,
Yes, but then if things were put into a trust, it would be no confusion. That it would be stated clearly on what you want. When I pass, I want this house to go to this person, and they would give instructions on how to handle the things according to what's in the trust. So it kind of makes things clear, makes it a private document, so that your information is not public. It's just between the trust, and then people understand what to do with it. And I guess once the trust is certified, the real estate is recorded, and the deed of trust, the deed is transferred to the trust name. So it's out of your parents' name, it's into the trust, and then the trustee would follow the instructions that you set aside for the property.
For the trust. Okay. A lot of times people think that getting a will is complicated, and they think that it is expensive. Is that true?
It can be, but there are so many different ways to go about getting a will. Like now, there's a lot of AI, a lot of online tools that is much less expensive than going to an attorney or a lawyer to get these things done. So you can do your own will and trust through an online platform that's more than half the cost of using an attorney.
That's something that you can offer. Talk to us about that.
So it's an online platform. It's state-specific documents that are written and approved by lawyers, and you do it online, and everything is uploaded to the vault. And once you create the document, you take the trust certificate to the bank, and they can transfer your bank accounts, like your checking, savings, to the trust, and then they can also do a quick claim deed, transfer your deed to the trust, and record it at the courthouse. And this is all done through the online platform.
The platform that you can provide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's just a service that you can help with, and that you can,
exactly. So we send you the link and everything set up online. If you need help walking through it, I can help you walk through it to do it. But the online platform is made very simple. They give you online videos to explain what different things mean, and makes it easy for you to understand. So it's a very useful tool. And I think I didn't really know what a trust was.
I didn't either until and I was just like, well, just through real estate, I've heard the name, of course, but I just didn't really understand like exactly how it worked. I just thought like, okay, just have a will and you're safe, like you're set. But you're saying that you may need both. You may need
Yes,
a will
you need
and a
both.
trust. You do need both.
You should have both. And then I guess for me, I'm learning because my mom passed and she didn't have a will or a trust, but it was just me and my brother, so we agreed.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, the more and more you talk to people and you hear these things about wills and trusts, I have a better understanding. I think people don't have them because they don't know about them.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't understand it. Or again, they think it's complicated and they just think that, they can't afford it or whatever. But it is affordable. Like, we got a will and we don't have a trust, which I think just after talking to you, that's something that we're going to look at. Because we do have a blended family.
Yeah.
And so we definitely need to have something in place for that. And a lot of people think that like wills and trusts are just for like the elderly. Like, I'll get one when I get older, or things. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is that what I'm seeing is just in selling real estate is that like there are a lot of young people that are buying. Way to go, young people. Like, y'all are doing it, like they're buying houses at 24, 25, and they don't have a spouse yet and they don't have children yet. And tomorrow ain't promised to us, to any of us. And so if it's a situation like that and they are now homeowners and something happens to you, who gets the house?
The state. And they
and you don't want that to happen. So, if you are a homeowner, you just recently purchased a home, you may want to just give Stacy a call, really look into like getting a will and getting a trust. And you may not think, you have a lot or you have a lot of money, but if you just bought a house, you have something, you know what I mean? And that could go to the state, and you just don't want that to go to the state.
And one of the big reasons why I started this platform is because I wanted to give everybody accessibility to these.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we don't know what we need to do, and then what we do know, it can be outside of our budget. And this is a budget-friendly platform. It allows you to use these buy now, pay later options like Karma and PayPal. So it allows you to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it allows you to.
It's got the paying for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my best friend.
Yeah. So it allows you to create your document. You choose how you want to pay, and if you want to pay over time, you can do that.
That is.
So it just
good
makes
that
it
you have that
accessible
option.
to everyone, and that's one of the reasons why. And then I do host webinars so that education is key. The more you know, the better.
Yeah.
So I'm learning myself, and as I learn the information, I want to share with more and more people and give them access to the tools they need so that we can all grow and have real wealth. Yes,
I agree with that 100%. And so just to clarify, a will just written on a piece of paper, anybody can write a will on a piece of paper, but it means nothing really.
So in the state of Virginia, it doesn't have to be notarized, but it just makes it, if it is notarized, it makes it more legit when it comes to your passing. And we forgot to mention, we are not lawyers. We're just giving educational information.
Yes.
So, but a will doesn't have to be notarized, but it makes it a real thing once it is notarized and witnessed. So,
yes.
So then you just want to make sure, like I talked to a lady yesterday, and she has a 26-year-old son, and she said she didn't want to talk to him about any of these things and what I could do. What does the insurance companies do when people pass away? I said, no, it's not what the insurance companies, it's what you do. You need to have these conversations with your son. She's like, well, I don't want to talk about death with him. I was like, well, who else is going to talk to him? Like, if you don't have this conversation, who will? So I think more than anything, we have to continue or learn how to have these conversations with our families about.
It's so important.
What we've done to prepare for the future and how we would like things to be done.
100%. Because it's one thing that we can say, you may get sick, or you may or may not, whatever. You may or may not hit the lotto. Like Mike, you might hit the lotto. Just take care of us.
Scratch offs.
But that's one of the things. Is option. Okay, you may do so. we all know that we are going up out of here one day. Like all of us know, we know that, right? So that's something that is going to happen to all of us. So that's a conversation that we have to have that conversation.
Especially if you've done well for yourself and
Yeah.
you're making money and you have a
Yeah.
job, you have 401k, you have savings.
Yes, yes.
If you don't have these conversations with your children or your family,
right.
they're not going to know what you have. They're not going to know what you wanted to do with the money.
Yeah.
And you may want it to leave money to your church or something like that. But if you never have these conversations or put these things in place, they will never get done. And this is what you can do with the trust. You can say, I want to donate this amount of money to my church or this local organization, and I want Tracy to have this and Stacy to have that. So you can be very specific on what you want in your trust and who you want to have what.
And so a will is just, one piece of the pie, if you will, as in terms of giving your affairs in order. But the one thing that I always tell people is to create something like a password account or something that holds your passwords. And I experienced this as well when my father was passing away. He couldn't talk, however he could write, and so he was able to write down the passwords and give them to my mother because she did not have them. And had he not been able to do that, like, she wouldn't have had any of his passcodes or anything to the accounts because he had all of his stuff. And so it's really, really, really important that you not only write them down, but let someone know where they are.
Yeah, I'm thinking I don't have any of my husband's passwords.
Oh, you just had an epiphany? Like, wait a minute.
And he doesn't have any of mine, and
so
those things you just kind of take for granted.
So he was able to write his passcodes down, and she was able to get the money because she did not have any of that stuff. And so that's really important too. So make sure that you have like a password account, and I wouldn't just rely on my phone because your phone may go with you, or however that goes, and you may not have access to the phone or whatever.
So one of the features of the platform that we use is that it allows you to put your passwords in a digital vault.
That is awesome.
So you set everything
that
up.
Alone is so good.
So you set everything up, and then you make Tracy. I said I'll send all my information to Tracy, and then she'll have access to everything in my vault, so that everything is clear.
Anything else like that? That is
so
huge.
your picture, like my mom, I still have her phone, and sometimes I charge and I look through her phone and look at her Facebook posts and things like that, but. Yeah, this is very important that you can put everything in one place and that the person that you know, love, and trust has access to that information so they can go to one space online and view this information.
Yes. So this information is important for all of us, but if you own a home, super important, you guys. So for those of you who just closed on your house or you're thinking about, this should be the next thing like in place. You close on your house and you got to get this stuff in place.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think you would ever offer this as a service to your clients so that when they close on a home, they would have access to a platform that could...
Girl.
So you can gain access.
Never thought about that, but that is a really good.
And you just give them access to the platform, and it's up to them to do what they want to do with it.
Yes.
And then everything is there that they need, and then you can follow with them maybe. Whenever you follow with it, have you had a chance to update your information?
I love that, and we're gonna talk about that today.
Yeah, because I think it's important.
I think it's super important,
and it kind of starts with you if they're buying a house, and then for me as a life insurance agent, I help them fund the trust. So when they write life insurance, they can put the trust as a beneficiary. I love it. And once you get a trust, you have to fund it. So funding it means putting assets into the trust, like real estate, like life insurance. So I think being a real estate agent, you could be a great service to her.
That idea. See, this is why Stacy is thebomb.com. I love it. When is your webinar?
It's on the 29th of October. It's at 11 o'clock. So it's during the day instead of 7 o'clock. So it's 11 a.m. And we're going to talk about all things wills and trusts. I'm going to answer questions. And on the webinar, we're going to give you access to a free power of attorney and healthcare directive for being part of the webinar.
I love that. All right, Stacy, how can people reach you?
All things social, Stacy Gregory Insurance. My number is 804-5 639-6397. You can call or text me.
All right, and you guys know I am Tracy Gerard with the Gerard Real Estate Group. I specialize in working with first-time home buyers, real estate investors, and military relocation. My direct line is 804-400-0456. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.